these charts that are plastered all over the screens.
And a special thanks to the members of the Roosevelt family who are here.
Now, all of these emails on the bottom of the screen, like this beautiful gem here, where apparently Hillary is, well, where it's being made abundantly clear. These now infamous shots from the second presidential debate of the fly landing on Hillary's forehead in truth.
And the one who is not, Eleanor.
Mr. Curtis, are there programs that can be used to secretly fix elections?
Yes.
How do you know that to be the case?
How she feels about us, common Americans. These all come out of the WikiLeaks releases.
Well, you're the commissioner, you said, of the Democratic Election Commissioner. So if you think there's voter fraud and you think there should be voter ID, why don't people listen to you?
She's winning, she's winning, she's winning, she's winning, she's winning. Like subliminal messages to market to the mind. Yeah, they're bogus. We'll get to that.
As all of you famously learned when I served as president.
Flies all over her during that entire debate. This fly right here that keeps swarming around. I don't think I have to comment on the spiritual implications of that. Flies are attracted to what? Death, decay. Flies also, what's the old saying? Flies flock to what again?
My wife, now the Secretary of State, was known to commune with Eleanor on a regular basis.
At the company I work for in Oviedo, Florida, that did just that.
There are reports right now, while I'm making this video, of tens of thousands of bogus ballots for this lady here going to key swing states in mass.
And you think there's a lot of absentee ballot fraud too?
Oh, there's thousands of absentee ballots. I know where they came from.
No matter what comes out about her, she always seems to be 10 points ahead, doesn't she? Isn't that strange?
And when you say did just that, it would rig an election?
It would flip the vote 51-49 to whoever you wanted it to go to and whichever race you wanted to win.
Now here's some neat articles that just showed up this morning. Early voting numbers promising for Clinton, specifically where? In the battleground states. More boxes of those Hillary votes showing up off the back of the truck, I guess. I bet those are legitimate. I have found, just right up front, that whenever she does the mad, laughing, heckling, this face here, whenever she does that, or when she does the evil eye, then whatever is being said is totally sideways. Now, if one were, in theory, trying to rig, or what some might call defraud, an election, it would be really helpful if all the poll numbers for that person on the screens always reported you were winning, no matter what was happening. In reality, here's the numbers on the screens right here. Look, Bernie only had 40 to 52. That's in California. Same thing here. Same thing here. 200 people show up to her event, her rally, on the same day that Trump packed an entire stadium in Florida, just like he does every time he steps off an airplane. Yet in practical reality, here she is with a couple of hundred people in a little tiny gymnasium. Like the people's choice versus the media's choice. Look at all these little crowd of people while he was packing a stadium. Both of these here were in California, where the numbers on the screens were like this. All the social medias, they always put Trump, just like they did with Bernie Sanders. I'm not gonna dare in this particular video call this the Democratic Party. That would be an insult to Democrats and liberals that are my friends. Let's call it what it appears to be called right in the WikiLeaks emails. The I Hate Everyday Americans party, right there. The same type of landslide is what you need here, is what you see on your social media. From Donald Trump's Facebook being nearly twice hers, his Twitter, much more than that. I find this one interesting, right here on Reddit. They always put Trump light years ahead on every single Save Not One poll. When it comes to the people's choice social media stuff, that's Trump, that's Hillary. Democrat and Republican alike. Donald Trump organically, 198,000 followers. Hillary for prison, this is the official Reddit. Hillary for prison, 55,000.
It was just endorsed, and more are coming next week. It'll be over 200 admirals, many of them are here, admirals and generals endorsed me to lead this country.
Hillary herself, 24,000. Not only is Donald Trump light years ahead of her in organic results, but there are nearly more than twice as many people that want her in prison than want her as president. No matter how dark it gets, keep this in mind. Let their games against you and your families have the complete reverse effect. Let it give you an excitement and a boldness. But indeed, what you will need on election day is exactly what you see at all the events, sometimes 3 a day. Landslide crowds. Bear in mind, on the terrifying Hillary side, you got crowds like this, where you're barely filling the gymnasiums, with people that were paid to stand there. And in truth, I feel bad for them. They had to sit through something more painful than an insurance convention in Dallas. But the truth, here's the truth. Hillary Clinton couldn't fill a phone booth if it were full of free Obama phones.
Cyber attackers to hack into government files, to hack into personal files, hack into the Democratic National Committee.
Not only is this just about the stupidest thing that I've ever heard anybody state at a presidential things are being cyber attacked all around me. Stuff gets lost. I can't even keep track of my own filthy emails.
You are very clearly quoting from WikiLeaks, and what's really important about WikiLeaks,
we can't whitewash them fast enough. Appears to be what she's stating repeatedly.
they have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people.
Well, let me ask you this. Somebody that gets cyber attacks all around them all the time, we're going to hand over, oh, here's the keys to the nuclear codes. How long before you think those got lost or disappeared if she became president? Do you think it would be 10 minutes, 15? Or do you think it would be a whole half hour before she lost control of those? But since we're delving into the levels of hell and insanity anyway, oh yeah, this gets darker. Clips like this one here where you have Bill openly discussing Hillary summonsing spirits for appearing to be for advice on how to run the government, no less. There was always this craziness like this coming from this lady, right? Dad, and trying to do things that seem to want to suck your freedoms away.
And so she called me last night on her way home from Peru to remind me to say that Eleanor had talked to her and reminded her that I should say that.
And having Bill out there to apologize, seeming to apologize for it, and your family's funding and prosper from your pockets. When we were putting together the documentary Entities, it wasn't just the nefarious, under the table, underhanded stuff that was all over the place. The occult stuff was everywhere, or at least it seemed to be, by simply typing the name Hillary into the cauldron brew of the internet. And I can tell you that nearly all of that, we're lucky to even have those few clips, because all of that would get whitewashed right off the internet. But in all fairness and truth, the correlation between the occult and especially when she says things that are untrue, which she candidly does often, or look at this one right here. And as I've mentioned, we've all been quite content to demean government, drop civics, and in general conspire to produce an unaware and compliant citizenry. That means you and me, by the way. Twisting, manipulating, or distorting the truth, whether it be to keep things away from committees, from having a chance to realize what they have gotten themselves into, or whether it be in the case of appearance of skewed numbers to play psychological warfare and manipulate the mind. through the modern crystal balls. Now, let me ask you this. This lady here, and I've got to admit, they do an excellent job dolling her up, getting her propped up there for those presidential debates. But let me ask you.
Because the truth is, under President Obama, we've lost control of things that we used to have control over. We came in with the internet, we came up with the internet.
It does appear to also be true that since large portions of the internet were given over to what amounts under the control of the UN, that there have been major problems, never existed before with the internet, in places on massive scale, places like California. The unawareness remains strong. They're happy you're unaware. But compliance, your compliance, is obviously fading rapidly through their grasp. That's actually what this states on the screen right here. This problem demands some serious, they stated that twice, thinking. Now, I've heard it asked, do you think she would really try and defraud or rig the election? What is that supposed to be? A joke? This is Hillary Clinton, man.
Oh, the exit polls should not be significantly different from the vote.
And if they were, you would conclude what?
I would conclude someone's playing with the vote.
You would know there's something terribly wrong and medically wrong if she didn't try and rig the election. At not one, not two, but all three presidential debates, she had this prepared narrative about cyber attacks, Russia, and that it would, apparently, if I'm understanding her correctly, she almost sounds like what she means is that she's anticipating some kind of coming cyber attack.
That the Kremlin, meaning Putin and the Russian government, are directing the attacks, the hacking on American accounts to influence our election.
Now, it would be true that if one were anticipating a cyber attack, I mean, she runs straight there, even when that's not even the question that's asked.
Never had anything like this happen in any of our elections before.
That was a great pivot off the fact that she wants open borders, okay? How did we get onto Putin?
Why do you think she does that?
This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself, in an effort to influence our election.
And anticipating, maybe blaming such cyber attack on the Russians, whatever the case.
You don't know who broke in to DNC, but what did we learn with DNC? We learned that Bernie Sanders was taken advantage of by your people.
The only thing I can think that would really benefit is, I don't know, if somebody were planning to skew the elections, and of course, just in theory, massive cyber attack could certainly be used to whitewash away all the evidence of something like that. Now, watch this. No hidden cards, nothing in my sleeves, and not just poll-driven, demographically inspired messaging.
Look, she's been proven to be a liar on so many different ways. This is just another lie.
There are thousands of these. She wants to achieve consistency, and the best way to do that is to keep the people, you and me, ignorant. This is what I'm telling you. Is it the poll results that you see on your media screens? You can make those to be 10 points ahead if you want, 6 points if you want, 3 points if you want, or make them go back and forth and make it look like a close race if you want. And all you got to do is read through, look, define convoluted text on the bottom of the little screens that explain to you how you're doing the polls. If you put those up on a pie chart and see, first of all, there's sample groups of 1,000 people or less in most every single case with oversampling for Hillary. Or how about polls done using modern technology? I mean, after all, we're not in the 1950s anymore where we got to call everybody up. States. People feel comfortable answering questions on the app over here without the fear of being bullied or being called a racist. Like might be your fear if you were getting a call from a pollster, right? People can express themselves safely and you get a pure answer. Here's the pure answer over here, 36%. Just this one app right here, just this one, and there are tons of types of this kind of app. 64% for Trump. A true sample group would be something like 50K, right? And you're gonna find lots of examples like this that are independently done polls. On this one here, 33%, Republican and Democrat, not shifted. Over here, 34% independent. Look at the numbers here, 33,478, that's 67% right there. The Clintons, 19%. So take a look up here, YouTube live streams for Trump. When this guy gets on his live stream, 30,000 people are tuning in a flash. That's out of 100K daily cycling users. You could run and get these results today, yesterday, a month ago, or a month from now on this election, if it were honest. For Clinton, 500, these are the averages. Look, those low numbers, if she tried to do a live stream or anything of the sort on her own without big media, illusory help, nobody cares what this woman has to say. Look on your screens. Every article, every news story is about Donald Trump, not Hillary Clinton. Nobody cares what Hillary would possibly have to say. They're all more accurately trying to affect your mind, to talk you out of getting up to go vote for Trump. And in truth, the articles, which I've been watching and reading for months, which are like nails on chalkboard, I gotta be very frank with you. Those articles for this lady, they look desperate. 500, this video you're watching right now will pull 500 views and probably under 10 minutes from going up. And this is a person running for president of the United States.
So when Secretary Clinton talks about this, I mean, I'll take the admirals and I'll take the generals any day over the political hacks that I see that have led our country so brilliantly over the last 10 years with their knowledge, okay?
All I know for an absolute fact is this. Whatever Miss Clinton is intending to do, should she prevail, should she become president, not only looks bleak for the people here of the United States, but seems to also have the Russians extremely nervous.
Excuse me. Putin has outsmarted her in Syria. He's outsmarted her every step of the way.
Americans voting for president on November 8th must realize that they are voting for peace on planet Earth if they vote for Trump. But if they vote for Hillary, it's war.
This isn't little bitty stuff going on here. That clip you just saw is from a close friend and ally of the Kremlin.
1,800 nuclear warheads, and she's playing chicken. Look, Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
And while most all of your mainstream medias appear to be totally consumed with pumping out psychological warfare for the common man's mind and putting out slanted poll numbers and talking about 10-year-old comments, read a little bit further down the articles and you're going to find plethoras of Russia calling back its people, seeming to be dusting off its weapons, and also checking out its nuclear bomb shelters. So here's what I'm telling you. Whatever games, I guess that's called the Junior Dr. Evil outfit she chose to wear that day, that Miss, when I need advice, I summons the spirits, is playing. What is she intending to do that has got them that nervous? She keeps stating that she believes global warming is the world's largest problem.
Greatest problem the world has is nuclear armament, nuclear weapons. Not global warming like you think and your president thinks.
It's beginning to sound like that if she gets elected, she may well be right. And as per these slanted polls that they keep pumping onto your mind, presumably to try and break your spirit with, keep these images in mind. This right here is what you need on election day. So the only thing that anyone could be absolutely certain of is if there were some kind of cyber attack, number one, you would most definitely know that it was contrived. And number two, the other thing you would know for a fact is that Hillary Clinton most certainly didn't win the election. Now that would all be correct, right? I would ask that all Americans, everyone watching this video, pray that this election be a totally honest and straight up election. And that being stated, if Hillary Clinton is the honest and legitimate winner, and that is truly what America's choice is Hillary Clinton, then absolutely, so be it, if in fact that is America's choice in an honest, non-cyber attacked election.
Should really be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails that you deleted and that you acid washed, and then the 2 boxes of emails and other things last week that were taken from an office and are now missing.
And as for me, on a personal note, as a Christian, a man of faith, a man who loves freedom, which is every good gift, including freedom and prosper. Every good gift is from God above. A man who loves science and a man who loves truth and honesty. I personally will be voting on Election Day for Donald Trump. And I, for one, will also be wearing red that day, not for Democrat or Republican, because I'm neither, but in honor of the blood shed by those that laid down their lives on the highest altars of sacrifice to pay for the very freedoms that appear to be being fought against right now in this land. Let me ask you this. How do me or you give away for free what others were willing to die for? And a few of the clips that you've seen in this video actually came out of the documentary Entities, a documentary about the world that you can't see with your eyes, particularly being that this, or at least while I'm putting this video together, is October, but also applies, this is a great film, November, December. We're going to apply free shipping, guaranteed, on the entire Entities Unveiling set as the next full-length documentary, not just common releases that we do on our YouTube channel, but the next full-length documentary will be the Exodus. There won't be anything like it. It's at the Red Seas where the miracle happens, is it not? And we are praying for a parting of the Red Seas.
Because there has never been so many lies, so much deception. There has never been anything like it. And we're going to have a special prosecutor.
Well as the God in a Nutshell, full collections all the way through December. But this particular documentary here, particularly during October and November, look, you're not just going to look at the dark stuff. And by the way, this isn't the Hollywood stuff. This is the real stuff. Not that there's... This is the good stuff. I have heard it said by some that they can't vote for either party. Donald Trump is imperfect. Let me ask you this. Would that not be in the Bible? Like the servant of the king. This was Jesus that gave this parable. Who, as opposed to using what he had, the servant decided to bury and disrespect the gift, the talent given to him by the king, as opposed to taking what was given from above and using it. It's the Lord that gives the power to vote, beginning in the garden, where there were 2 trees. In fact, in our day-to-day lives, you have the choice of what you're going to do every single day. God is the author of freedom, and God always works through men, imperfect men.
There has never been anything like this where emails and you get a subpoena, and after getting the subpoena, you delete 33,000 emails. And then you acid wash them, or bleach them, as you would say, a very expensive process. So we're going to get a special prosecutor, and we're going to look into it, because you know what? People have been, their lives have been destroyed for doing 1/5 of what you've done. And
on the back of the screen back here, the Trump prophecy video, which went up on YouTube in full 2 days, 2 little bitty days after the first presidential debate. I would like to note that for the record, that's when that got uploaded. Trump, the coming landslide. And additionally speaking, this video began its production at the point that I believe there were 15 people running against Donald. So this began in the works, this video back here, before he was even close to being, the same poll numbers that are being run on Hillary right now while we're talking. She's winning, she's winning, she's winning, she's winning. Yeah, the same people doing those appear to be the same people who are putting out all sorts of stuff about Jeb Bush at that time. Jeb Bush is the winner. Jeb Bush, yeah, right. Somebody's gonna vote for him. Light is always bigger than darkness. Darkness is the absence of light. Special thanks to composer Mattia Capelli, as well as, and by the way, this in the background, that's a Trump crowd in Florida at roughly about the same time that Hillary did hers, where she barely filled up, what was it, I think 3 bleachers full of people, 3 little tiny bleachers full of people. Also, our God in a Nutshell photo of the day. This particular one is titled, "That Look You Get When a Whole Line of Your Rape Accusers Are Sitting There While You're in a Room with Your Wife and Your Daughter." That's a Florida crowd for Trump. Special thanks also, Make America Great Again, by my friend, guy who died and came back to life one time, ex-rock star Casper McLeod. Oh, and before I forget, I believe there's one other person, a known celebrity, who wants to speak with you. Hold on just a moment.
America, won't you wake up? America, all your elitists corrupt. America, have you been led astray? America, won't you
I'm Trey Smith. Here, let me get this thing off my head. That's just not right. It's hard to breathe in that thing. God bless every last one of you on the other side of this screen. Make sure and hit the subscribe button somewhere down there on the bottom of this YouTube video. And also visit the God in a Nutshell project, a news site. And currently we are looking for writers for God in a Nutshell. So let us know if you'd be interested in writing for the God in a Nutshell project. These are what the God in a Nutshell documentaries look like in real life. They're all absolutely beautiful, and it's not just the outside covers and the contents inside. Even the discs themselves are all colorful and beautiful, going all the way back to the first stuff. This thing here, and Entities, the video you see on the screen behind me, that's actually there's no supernatural video that you're gonna find out there like that. Go look at the reviews on it. I had my choice between this and the Freddy Krueger mask. I got this one because the claws were bigger. Or you can actually watch 30 minutes of it for free right on this YouTube channel. But look, it's a God in a Nutshell documentary. I think you already know it's going to be good. And Lord Jesus, Father God in heaven above, we pray repentance and forgiveness on this land, right through this video.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit.
You know, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
This video is in honor of the nation that has had some of the greatest men and women of honor and courage that have ever lived. Take what you have and use it, and wear your red on Election Day. May God Himself bless every last one of you on the other side of the screen.